my landlord has not really listened to my voice regarding certain things on repairs and maintenance of my property. I think it stems from the fact that you're almost not believed because you're just a customer, tenant, resident. And obviously you're living in the property, and so our understanding of what needs to be done, or if you see something in disrepair, obviously I would say I'm the most informed in that situation. So I felt and I feel that the landlord has much to improve on this situation. The problem I have at the moment, which has been going on for many, many months, is sadly I attended a funeral of a very dear friend on my return late at night after a very arduous train journey. I stepped into about half a foot or more of water when I came into my property. It was 10:30 at this point. I had an appointment at the hospital early doors the next day, so I just didn't know what to do. And at this moment, all I was bothered was, where's the leak coming from? What do I do? I had switched the water off by the stopcock. I had switched the water back on, and the water had seemed to stop. So we just basically went through the property, dried up what we could see. I'm partially sighted, so I just said to my neighbours, thank you very, very much, goodbye. Climbed into bed and then was up the next morning early to catch my bus for my appointment. On my return, I realised that there was more water and more damage, so contacted my landlord, explained what had happened. All they were bothered about was, where's the leak come from? I don't know where the leak's coming from. Okay, well, we'll send an emergency plumber out. That'll be within 12 hours. Right, well, this is whatever time in the afternoon, so you're telling me I've got to wait now another 12 hours, so anybody could come at any time. I live in a residential area with children, etc. I don't want somebody to be in the middle of the roadside dragging up drains or whatever. No, it'll be fine. That first night, it was quite late in the evening. I rang up and said, look, nobody can come now. It's far too late. So then I had to get up early in the morning and ring again for another 12-hour emergency plumber, who eventually came out, scratched his head, told me I must have been wrong. It must be the washing machine. It must be something else because the water was off and there's no physical possibility of water coming in as much damage as there was in the property if you've stopped the water. Fine, I said, well, I'm not telling lies. I know when I switched off the water, I know blah, blah, blah. So, devil's advocate, I switched the water back off and he went away. I stayed in my property. There was more damage because it was sort of like every time I went further down into my property, another rug was wet through or something else I'd seen, because again, with being partially sighted, I couldn't actually, unless I was actually stepping into it with bare feet, I couldn't actually tell what had flooded and not. And the washing machine was starting to fill up. So I thought, okay, how's that possible when the stopcock is off? So rang another emergency plumber. It'll be another 12 hours, fine. So you're just on call, waiting. At this point, I'd been staying at a friend's because she was horrified that I was staying in a property that was uninhabitable. It was wet, it was cold. When my friends and myself were trying to salvage what we could on the very first night, there's things piled up on top of things, which obviously in a walkway where you're partially sighted is not good. So I just feel that my voice hasn't been heard. The stigma of myself living in a social home has been really emphasised a lot, because if I was paying, even though I am paying through my rent and my service charge, but if I could independently pay for my own plumber, drain expert, etc., I would have been dealt with within a 48-hour call out, not 5 months later. So yes, at the moment I'm feeling very unheard and just stigmatised from the top to bottom. I feel that why can't they help me? I'm registered disabled. I have felt that I've just been left in limbo since my escape of water over 9 months ago. I'm living basically with a rucksack from family members to friends, and nobody seems to be taking this seriously. I feel that I can't even go into an office because the offices aren't customer, tenant, resident friendly, to just bang a drum somewhere. Every time I telephone, you can't get direct to the person that you need. It's always an email to be sent. I can't write emails at the moment because I'm partially sighted. And I just feel screaming in a very darkened room somewhere, or begging somebody to help me, even if their practice is to say, well, once she's done it, completed this, then we'll do this. Once she's completed a next thing, then we'll do this. But nobody has given me somebody to say, let's walk you through the steps. Obviously, people don't go through escapes of water very often. So I don't know the whole protocol of doing what I need to do. So at the end of the day, I'm just literally going from house to house, knowing that my home isn't fit for purpose. Somebody that had to go into social housing due to circumstances beyond my control. I then had to move from that property to the property I'm in at the moment for the fact that I needed ground level living, a wet room flooring in my kitchen, etc. The stigma of this is everybody sees your disability rather than you as a person, and so just thinks that you're not paying your rent, you're living there free. Why should you have such a nice property in a multi-tenured area? And so for me, living in social housing, I just want the same as everybody else, a nice, safe, warm home with, if there's gardens front and back, that they're done and neat and tidy, so that my neighbours don't look at my home and go, oh, they're the social housing tenants, they've got an unkept garden, their driveways are dishevelled, their windows are rotting or old. So for me, it's just, and also making sure that places are true tenure blind, so don't leave people with double glazing that's different colour to everybody else's, that haven't got sheds in an area where people can see, or that have got, instead of having a nice porch, they get wooden threat crisscrossing, so that other people can actually point to where the affordable homes are from where the social rented homes are.